Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles in order to help people understand that manifestation is actually quite effortless if you take care of your mama drama panorama. That is in reference to everything that you went through, literally all the drama, mama panorama that has gone on, the cycle that you can seem to break out of. This is the center stage of your life right now that you absolutely cannot ignore perhaps anymore, and you really need to take care of. Everything else is easy. You need to figure out what it is internally that you're communicating to your universe presently. Once that's worked through, this is why I start with your history in coaching. This is going to give me the blueprint to your mind. We process the emotions, we change your beliefs, and I set you up with absolutely everything, all the tools from my toolbox of the research of 15 years and being a coach of 10 years so that you can succeed in your manifestation journey. I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me. Excuse me. And I require that you first book an hour session with me simply to make sure that this match is a match made in heaven and that we work well together. So please make sure before you even book the hour that you get familiar with my material, that you understand I'm very direct, and I will very much expect results out of you and to show up ready to rock and roll, prepared, and willing to accept my suggestions. Otherwise, this process simply will not be successful. If you have any questions about coaching, then please email me. All the info is directly below. So I'm further inspired to record an addendum to how to make your SP fall madly in love with you. And I think I'm going to record like a series of these audios slash videos maybe. I'm very inspired to channel this, and I wasn't going to record it. And as usual, it's super easy for me to channel when I'm recording an audio versus a video. And I've already kind of touched on that. But in essence, imagine this, and this I'm really inspired to share. Imagine that you actually live underwater. I know it's a little bit spooky at first, but just imagine that instead of air, we actually have water. Okay, just for the sake of this metaphor, you don't need to go into anxiety of any kind, but imagine this is the setup. And imagine further now that you have been, as I said in the beginning, accumulating quite a bit of mama drama panorama, and naturally so, without maybe working through it or haven't worked through it in its entirety yet. You're essentially underwater surrounded by really dark colors. This is the representation of energy. But energy that you cannot see yet affects you every single day. Now, because of this energy, it's very hard for you, number one, to even see what is actually going on without even going on to manifestation and, being delusional and all of these things, but to actually rationally and logically, without, running into your fears and insecurities, and therefore experiencing a completely distorted version of reality in your mind, in your feelings, rather than what's actually happening. So this will prevent you from seeing, things the way that they actually are, if you simply just put them on paper. But also, obviously, and of course, in the situation with a specific person, it's very difficult for you to maybe even be loving, to be affectionate, to be able to imagine that this is possible for you, right? So let's take this metaphor a little bit further. Metaphor slash visualization really is what I really kind of want to present here. Imagine that you clear this darkness around you, and so much energy naturally will just flood in, just universally, there's going to be this love, light, support, healing, everything. Just remove the stuff that does not belong anymore, never really did, borrowed from somebody else, and these narratives that never really make any sense. And you logically understand that. It's not that you're not intelligent enough to not understand it, but this side note here, 2 levels of belief. It's believing something like believing it to be true. And the second level of belief is what I'm actually talking about on my channel, is believing it like I am living it. I am believing it. I believing it. Oh, I didn't expect that. I be living it. That's so funny. Anyway, meaning I embody it. I believe it because I am one with it, not just theoretically kind of situation. So energetically, once you cleanse, this universal light floods in and supports you every step of the way. Of course, from the unhealed perspective, this will never be even possible in your mind, because in that parallel reality, in that cycle where you are right now, that's the only possibility. But now further imagine that now the air is clean as a whistle. And now you are in a position to create something magical. I mean, really, nothing short of it. And this is why my process is the way that it is. And again, if you follow it, you will succeed. It's just what it is. It's just the mechanics of the universe. Now imagine further the underwater example. And now, whatever, I don't know, color red representing love. And you start directing this energy. You start choosing this energy to feel towards your SP deliberately at first, and then naturally, kind of like every single day. The thing is that you do have to do it every single day. Why? Because the consistency of it is what's going to reach it. Because underwater, in the 3D situation, things are delayed. Things are delayed underwater. You've ever seen footage of underwater? It looks like slow motion. This is a slow motion reality. You're going to have to get used to this shit. I don't know how else to say it. You're going to have to develop this patience where you know that there's a delay. This is natural. Even though in your mind, yeah, you want to hurry up and get there. In your mind, you have to really, get accustomed to this patience where you know the process and the visual. I'm giving it to you now, where this feeling has to eventually reach the heart of your SP. Okay? So you won't be doing this one time. You will be doing it over and over and over. Now, if you give too many confusing suggestions, directions, instructions, one day you get up, I love you, I love you. In the afternoon, you're done loving them, you're saying something else. So now, again, visualization, love, let's say it's pink, and then resentment comes up, and maybe that's a darker color. So now you've created a mess kind of situation. But don't worry about the mess. It's just the consistency of it. What the fuck do you want? Right? Becomes the question. Because you give too many instructions, the universe will simply not deliver shit. It's just gonna get too fucking confused. I did it with my dog one time. I think the elevator was not working or something like that. And I had to get upstairs because I had this call. And I was like, let's try the elevator again. No, let's take the stairs. No, let's go outside. And I gave the instruction like, I was so in a rush. I said all of these things. consecutively. And my dog, as obedient as he is, mind you, he did all three, but it looked so funny because he's just like all over the place trying to please me, and I can't make up my fucking mind. In the same way, the same story kind of creates itself if you are going from one story to another. It's like emotionally, I know it's hard for a human to all of a sudden shake it off, which is why I offer coaching. You really, really need to part with your past on good terms. It's just going to help you out in the long run. You cannot part with your past hating it, resenting it, saying coulda, shoulda, woulda, this was a waste or anything like that. You really, really, really need to make friends with your past. That there's no other way. I know what it's like to feel what you guys feel, the loneliness and all of this. And trust me when I tell you, everything that I'm teaching you is here on this channel. The reason that people get confused a lot, with manifestation and with, the affairs of the heart, is that they think that this person somehow should be inspired on their own, and really it just comes down to really this super simple, elegant solution of you realizing in so many ways and examples that you're the one who is the storyteller. You are gonna have to tell a radically different story. Yes, with your past. Yes, with everything that happened. Yes, with everything that went down. And however unappealing you consider that right now. It's only, a superhero isn't born overnight. This is how you make a superhero. Sometimes there are detours, let's just call them that. And the fact that is and remains that there is no superhero without learning. And you, my darling, are learning. Can I talk? Quite a bit today. And so let's go back to your SP. You start these thoughts, and pretty soon you find yourself that you're having fun with this. This is not a matter of urgency. This is not a matter of I've got to get from here to here. This is a matter of pure joy. And this is another thing that if you understand that it isn't about the time, that it isn't about the other person to make up their mind, or that you depend on another person somehow, like, let's erase that proposition from your mind forever. If it is to be, if it is up to me, this is what you should be saying to yourself. If the situation isn't pleasing you, is because you just simply didn't take energetic action towards it that was deliberate enough. And sometimes you don't, and that's fine. But just recognize that suffering is entirely optional. If you're suffering, then there's a delay in decision, there's a delay in committing to, yes, I want this kind of story, and period, the end. This is what I want this person to fall in love with me. Now, whether you're in love with them still or not, that's irrelevant, quite frankly, for this example. You can always make up your mind later. But that you begin to have fun with this, and you're not in a rush, and you're simply enjoying the feeling of it, knowing what it can produce for you, knowing how much power this really has. Knowing that in your 360 bubble, you reign supreme. So if you decided with your emotion, with your energy, this person is in love with me, I rewrote completely the story that was before. I'm lonely, I'm depressed, I'm this and that. Toss that in the garbage. I have a brand new story now. This person that I thought did not really care about me, let's just say, take this example. I completely misunderstood because of my Mama Drama Panorama. They're actually madly in love with me. I just don't even know what that looks like, perhaps. Or it hasn't crossed my fucking mind that they could be in love with me. But how you like me now, I want to decide that they're in love with me. Who's going to argue against the author of your reality? Go ahead. Oh, wait, don't worry. Who? You're writing the whole shebang. So if you're writing intelligently, it's not a matter of, I wonder if it's going to happen. It's a matter of like, I decided a long time ago, this person is in love with me. And I am, not a long time ago, it was a kind of like figure of speech, but I decided that this person is in love with me. So therefore, like, what is the conversation exactly? You're acting from that assumption only in your mind. In your mind, whenever you think of this person, it is a done deal. This person cannot stop thinking about you and all this stuff. Now, the problem arises when you start watching the clock. And I know that you're annoying yourself during that moment. And you know what? So is the universe annoyed, big time. You know why? Because you don't have this trust in yourself yet. If you're too busy, if you can't let it go, like if you can't check it off your list, if you can't marry that reality that, you know what, somehow I need to accept this gift of life, okay? This joy that I am, and I'm not laughing because, listen, it's a very valid desire. It's just how big people make it is what's really, it needs to calm the fuck down. It's not big. It's just another person. One fucking person, okay? You can affect a group of people, a large group of people. They're all going to be thinking the same thing. You're already doing it. Everybody in your reality, if you start thinking about yourself in a very unflattering way, they will start responding to that. If you start thinking the opposite, everybody will respond to that. Understand the universe doesn't care. You're the only one who's permitting yourself to have that guy or girl or not. That's it. There is no judgment in that sense whatsoever, and you shouldn't judge yourself either. However long it takes you, the amount of time that it takes you is simply the equation of how much stuff you still have to work through, and it is to your advantage. From my perspective, as always, I would rather you hold on to your manifestations and gradually but steadily achieve a vibration that is secure and stable. Like I can definitely stand on my 2 feet right here and feel bliss. Like that's the arrival. Anything short of this, that any coach that you'll find, anything that you'll spend time on, if the goalpost is not geared towards that, forget it. If you want permanent results, if you want a marriage that you're not just gonna run out and get married, you're gonna stay married. You're gonna have to learn this energetic talk, and your involvement in it is the only involvement we care about. There's nobody else involved in that sense. If you only knew the amount of power you have over this person, simply by examining your thoughts, you can arrive to pretty accurate observation. Pretty accurate observation of what instructions you're giving to this person right now and have been giving for all this time. They're following it to the T. So the idea is to get rid of your mumbo jumbo and embark on this journey of how can I positively affect my environment, including my SP, by myself creating this magnetic, irresistible energy that nobody can turn away. But it isn't even done for the sake, I want to underline 300 million times, of getting the SP. The whole purpose of this is to elevate in frequency for your own sake. Because anything less than getting your way and getting what you want without hurting anybody, goes without saying, is just not that much fun. It's just not, you've lived it. It's not fun at all. You focus on somebody with love day in and day out, day in and day out, and you have this presence of mind and the wisdom of knowing, yeah, we live in this 3D world that is totally slow motion. Just It's just customer service kind of situation, Thank you for your patience. I'm so serious. But in the process of waiting in queue, can you have fun? That's the whole thing. If I was to describe life, I've cracked myself up so much. Oh my God. If I was to describe life, it's just like a customer service call. And eventually, someone picks up and you get what you want. It's all about that. I mean, what else can I say to you? Listen, if you lived in those realms where like it's instant manifestation, I gotta tell you, I've visited those realms in my dream state. That is so real. It's as real as this. I mean, it's more real than this. And I gotta tell you, I mean, in 3D, I don't feel like it would work. It's a different quality of experience here. So if you want to play the game like a master magician, you just gotta learn the rules. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to even feel in love with them as well, as I said, as long as you know how to tap into the appropriate color and you're not in a rush. Like, how in a rush is an artist painting a painting? This is why I consistently bring up this metaphor, because it does take time to paint a painting and you're better for it. That's the whole situation. That's the best metaphor I've ever found, because it literally does require specificity of choosing colors, choosing this, choosing the landscape. You want to do a good job at it. You don't just like splash paint on it. I suppose some painters do, some artists do that, but realistically speaking, it takes time. But you shouldn't be in a rush. And if you've been waiting for a long time and it feels like, oh my God, Anna, I'm not in a rush, I've just been waiting for so long. Well, when you have this kind of energy of I'm waiting again for another person to make me happy or for another person to complete me, you will wait forever. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. The whole entire point of this existence is to become magnetic yourself. And then you don't fucking ask any questions from anybody. Not from your SP, not for nothing. You are kind of like the entrepreneur, the CEO of your life. It's like, who the fuck are you going to answer to? You work for yourself. That's the whole situation. So you don't work for your SP. You don't work for anybody. You work for yourself. Everybody's coming and answering to you, in fact. I think if I was to sum it up, it's just have fun painting. Have fun painting and understand that the more you are about the quality of experience and the quality of energy that you send out towards that someone or something, it has no choice but to respond back to you. It's just mathematically and, metaphysically impossible. It just really is. Again, unless you have some blockage that is in the way, unless you're telling a story that's radically different. There's no way that you can be, again, like a psychopath who says one thing one time and the other thing the other, who can live like this, is like I said. No, you have to be bloody fucking consistent and you have to pay attention to what the fuck you're painting. If you are deliberate and disciplined, you can make anybody fall in love. And let me tell you something. Once you really understand, and I get it, for you, it may be a really difficult part of your life that you can seem to get under control. But I'm telling you, from somebody, take it from somebody who struggled with this, it is a motherfucking piece of cake. It really is. The only requirement is to get your energy in check and know that you're the golden Buddha. You're the golden Buddha, not the other fucking person. Don't sell out. You're the energy generator. You will create with this energy anything you want. If you want a man in love with you, you got it. You want a woman in love with you, you got it. You want the world, you got it. Just produce that energy. But that, requires, again, working through some things, getting familiar with new energies, etc., etc. And that's all that is. It's just a game of energy. It really just is that simple. And if you can commit to a certain energy, to a certain landscape, okay? Let's not be, one day this and one day that. You will paint it, provided that you're committed to showing up each day and painting your painting. And eventually it's going to be complete. But of course, I cannot emphasize enough that the kind of energy you will paint it with is going to paint your experience. And as long as you're honest about how and what and you're painting, you will achieve great results. 100%. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me again is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.